Thank you for tuning into Tanaka TV, the best and future biggest fight channel on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, that comment, that subscribe button. We're trying to get this channel to over 2K subs by the end of the year, and we cannot do that. This channel cannot do that without your support. So thank you for those who support this channel, and thank you for those who will support this channel in the future. I truly, truly appreciate it. Now we're coming to you. It is about midnight o'clock out here in Japan. And so I'm not trying to waste anybody else's time. I'm tired. But this video that we've got today is Kevin Lee gets knocked out in sparring. Now, this typically isn't, right? This typically isn't the scenario when it comes to these kinds of videos. I literally just did a video of Speed sparring against Dan Hooker. And if you haven't seen that video, go check that video out. But it did happen the way that you probably would think. There was a clear-cut difference in skill level, but Dan Hooker didn't go too hard. We have seen fighters like Sean Strickland sparring against dudes. Remember when he went up against when he went up against Sneeko, and Dan Hooker damn near took that man's life. It was very controversial because half of the viewers were thinking that Sneeko had it coming. There was a lot of little internet beef going on with them, and that Sneeko had it coming. But then the other side thought that Sean Strickland went too hard as a professional UFC former champion, a guy who's at the highest level. I think that that's up for interpretation. But from what I'm getting from this title is that this is not any of those cases. So I'm not trying to waste anybody else's time, people. Let's get into this Kevin Lee getting knocked out in sparring. Let's go. Oh, wait, whoa. We're getting right into the nitty-gritty of things. Oh, he got the wobbles going. Okay, for first of all, off the initial reaction of what I'm seeing here. Because I'm going to be honest, I did see a little clip of this, and I did see this part. But I didn't want to dive too deep into it. I did not want to reach too far into this video because, again, I wanted to give y'all an authentic reaction. And from the looks of it, my initial reaction is Kevin Lee was moving reckless. Okay. These professional fighters, especially at the highest level, need to recognize whether it's right or not. You have to go into these sparring sessions understanding that not everybody that you go up against in these sparring matches are going to respect your health over trying to prove something. Because you go in there and you go in there with a fake flying knee, leaving your chin up, that's a recipe to get knocked out by somebody who's halfway decent, who understands timing at the very least. And that's what we see here. We saw Kevin Lee going in way too comfortable now. Now, from this footage, I don't know how light of a sparring session they were supposed to be in, which is another problem. That a UFC fighter, a fighter who is at a high caliber, could be going into a sparring session going 50%, 35%. But the guy who has a big ego, the guy who's trying to prove something because he's going up against Kevin Lee, he's going to be going 100% because he has something to prove. He can go home to his people, to his friends, and say, hey, I wobbled Kevin Lee. He now has bragging rights. And that's because of that ego, right? A lot of guys don't go into these sparring sessions trying to help you out. They go into these sparring sessions to try to prove something. Maybe not to better their own skill set. Maybe not to even prove how good they are, but it's to stroke their ego by maybe, possibly wobbling you. So as a UFC fighter, as a high-level fighter, you've got to go in at the very least understanding that you may have to take your 35% to a 50%. Maybe don't go in with a fake flying knee with your chin up, because not everybody's going to carry the same energy that you are carrying, because granted, you're the more skilled fighter. Let's go into this. Let's go. Slow-mo. Oh! That was flush. That was flush, my guys. And see, it makes me think what's going through Kevin Lee's head right now. Because like I said, right, Kevin Lee could be thinking, hey, man, this is a 35% sparring match. I wasn't expecting you to throw a punch that had the possibility within its power to wobble me. From Kevin Lee's body language, it didn't appear that way to me. It didn't appear that he was expecting that. And there's only but so much information I can get from a 6-second clip. I would love to see the other portion of this video. If you guys can give me a longer video, please comment down below that link. But from what it looks like, like I said, from Kevin Lee's body language, it does not look like he was expecting that. And for those who don't know, I've been in the kickboxing scene for a while. I've been in the Muay Thai scene for a while. I've got 10 amateur fights on my resume when it comes to kickboxing, boxing, and Muay Thai. And there are those guys who have walked into the gym that I was training at, and I can tell that they are not there to learn. They are there to try to prove something by knocking out one of the most active fighters in that gym. One of the most well-known fighters in that gym. As a fighter who's preparing for a fight, like I said, not everybody steps in there trying to help you. They're trying to help their ego. And I don't know if this is the case. I'm just trying to paint you guys the picture of possibilities that people walk into gyms having in regards to mindset. Because it's not always A plus B equals C. It's not always that. So let's look at this video one more time. Oof. Okay, now getting a second look at it. It didn't appear that the guy... It didn't appear that the guy threw... that he put a whole bunch into the punch. A bunch into the punch. That's a bar. Bunch into the punch. But it did appear that he knew how to punch. Like I said, it looks like that he knows timing. He backed up just enough and landed it flush. He landed that shot flush. And that's enough to put a person out. It does not take a whole wind up or even like a bunch of power to wobble somebody. You just gotta know how to punch, where to punch, when to punch. And it's not always the hardest punch. Usually it's not even. The hardest punch that wobbles a guy, that knocks a guy out, it's the punch you don't see coming. And again, that translates into, did Kevin Lee expect the guy to throw a punch with that sort of power? Because there are flow sessions, right? Which granted, off of Kevin Lee's body language, it looked like it could have been a flow sesh. I'm throwing like, very flowy things just to get into the feel of the sparring match, just to get, my body under me, just to get my legs under me. And we're just flowing. And then you got those guys who are just like, bet. That's how it can go out. That's how it can go down. So I don't know the narrative between this sparring match. All I see is the result. And the result is Kevin Lee got wobbled here. So comment down below, people, what you think about this. Do you think it was just? Do you think Kevin Lee did not defend himself properly, which could be the case? I would like to get you guys' opinion. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.